Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are beginning a deep exploration of the Turkish 1 lira coin, a modern world coin that carries centuries of cultural heritage, national pride, artistic symbolism, and monetary evolution within its polished edges. And as we take this long journey together, we will uncover the origins of Turkey's currency, the transitions in design, the metal compositions that define each era, and the historical events that shaped how this distinctive coin came to be. One of the most recognizable circulating coins in Europe and Asia, and to appreciate the Turkish 1 lira, we must first look back to the foundation of the Republic of Turkey in 1923 when Mustafa Kemal Ataturk initiated sweeping reforms that touched every part of Turkish society, including its monetary system. Because the modern lira replaced the Ottoman currency and needed new symbols to reflect a new identity, which is why the earliest coins of the Republic emphasized national unity, industrial ambition, and modernization, themes that still echo through the coins minted today. And as time passed through decades of economic shifts, inflation crises, redesigns, demonetization events, and the eventual introduction of the new Turkish lira in 2005, the 1 lira coin became not just a medium of exchange but a tangible piece of Turkey's resilience and transformation, especially when the new Turkish lira reset the currency, eliminating 6 zeros and restoring stability, making the 1 lira coin a cornerstone of the reformed monetary structure. And the modern 1 lira coin that we know today officially entered circulation in 2009 after the removal of the new prefix, adopting the name Turkish lira once again. And this version, which remains widely used today, is an elegant, bimetallic coin featuring a nickel-brass center surrounded by a copper-nickel ring, a design choice that not only enhances durability but also visually echoes the widely admired European bimetallic coins, including the famous €1 and €2 coins, helping Turkey align its aesthetic with international standards while maintaining a distinctly Turkish identity. And the obverse design of the 1 lira coin proudly displays the portrait of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, founder of the Republic, whose image has appeared on Turkish coins and banknotes since the 1920s as a symbol of progress, modernization, and national sovereignty. And the portrait on the coin is rendered with detailed contours, smooth transitions, and subtle depth, reflecting both artistic refinement and modern minting technology, while the reverse of the coin displays the denomination 1 Türk Lirası, the year of issue, and an intricate motif inspired by traditional Turkish ornamental patterns, known as Seljuk or Anadolu designs, which connect the coin to Turkey's rich cultural past, while the crescent and star, powerful emblems of Turkish identity, are subtly integrated into the design elements, reinforcing national symbolism with elegance. And as the Turkish 1 lira circulates through millions of daily transactions across bustling markets, modern shopping centers, public transportation systems, and tourist destinations, it serves as a quiet reminder of the long economic journey the country has taken, from the Ottoman era to the modern republic, through crisis and recovery, and finally into a globally connected economy. And this evolution is reflected not only in design but also in composition, because the metal structure of the coin is engineered to withstand heavy circulation, resist wear, and prevent counterfeiting, especially as the Turkish mint, Darfane ve Damga Matbaisi, adopted new minting technologies, laser engraving processes, and high-security details to ensure authenticity and discourage fraudulent replicas. And while the coin itself is primarily circulated for everyday use, it has also produced collectible varieties, proof editions, annual sets, and occasional design variations linked to commemorative series, each adding deeper layers of interest for collectors, investors, and historians. And understanding these details helps us appreciate how a common coin carries immense cultural, political, and economic significance, because a nation's currency is always a reflection of its identity, struggles, aspirations, and evolution. And in Turkey's case, the story behind the 1 lira coin is a remarkable narrative shaped by tradition, transformation, and national unity. And as we continue through the next sections, we will explore these transitions more deeply, including year-by-year observations, metallic changes, minting refinements, commemorative issues, and the broader role this coin plays in Turkey's modern economic landscape, setting the stage for an even more detailed breakdown of rarities, errors, and collector values that emerge from this fascinating world coin series. As we continue exploring the remarkable journey of the Turkish 1 lira coin, it becomes essential to dive deeper into the evolving craftsmanship, political symbolism, and economic circumstances that shaped each generation of this widely used denomination. Because the 1 lira coin did not simply appear as the modern bimetallic piece we recognize today, but is actually the result of decades of gradual refinement, experimentation, and redesign influenced by shifts in government policies, inflationary periods, global minting trends, and the growing need for a secure, durable, and aesthetically meaningful national currency. and to understand this progression, we must examine how Turkey navigated complex economic events throughout the 20th and early 21st centuries, beginning with the early Republican era when Ataturk's revolutionary reforms aimed to modernize the nation's identity, unify its people, and shift away from the remnants of the Ottoman monetary system that relied on older denominations based on gold and silver standards, which eventually became unsustainable due to modern economic demands. And as Turkey entered the mid-20th century, inflation and political changes gradually altered the country's financial stability, causing the value of the Turkish lira to decline over the decades and forcing the mint to continually redesign coinage to adjust to purchasing power and practicality, with earlier 1 lira coins eventually becoming obsolete due to rampant inflation. And by the 1990s and early 2000s, the lira had lost so much value that extremely large banknote denominations, such as millions and even billions of lira, became commonplace, prompting the government to introduce radical economic reforms that culminated in the launch of the new Turkish lira in 2005, removing 6 zeros from the currency and redefining the face value of coins, which allowed the 1 lira denomination to re-enter circulation in a modern, meaningful form. And when the bimetallic 1 lira coin was introduced in 2005 and refined again in 2009, its design was intentionally crafted to symbolize stability, forward momentum, and national pride, while also embodying the artistic heritage of Anatolia through elegant ornamental borders and the iconic crescent and star motif. And it is fascinating to note how the modern 1 lira coin mirrors European coinage not as an attempt to copy but as a strategic choice to align with international standards, ease public acceptance during tourism and trade interactions, and strengthen Turkey's global image as a modernized, economically integrated nation. And from a technical standpoint, the bimetallic structure, featuring a nickel-brass center ringed by a copper-nickel alloy, was chosen for multiple reasons, including improved tactile identification, enhanced durability under heavy circulation, and increased resistance to corrosion. Especially important in Turkey's diverse climate zones ranging from humid coastal regions to dry, high-altitude environments, and this composition also allows the coin's distinct appearance to remain vibrant even after years of use, making it visually appealing for collectors and easily distinguishable for the general public. And the fine details of the coin's engraving reflect the advanced capabilities of the Turkish State Mint, which continually updates its machinery and engraving techniques to meet global minting standards, ensuring that each portrait of Ataturk is rendered with precision and dignity. Featuring subtle shadows and contours that capture his iconic gaze and strong profile, and this consistency in featuring Ataturk across many decades of Turkish currency reinforces his legacy as a unifying national figure, while also strengthening the emotional connection the public maintains with everyday coinage. And the reverse side, with its ornamental border and bold denomination, reflects the artistry of traditional Anatolian craftsmanship, drawing inspiration from centuries-old architectural patterns, carved wooden motifs, and historical textiles, blending heritage with modern minting. And interestingly, the Turkish 1 lira coin also serves as an ambassador of culture for millions of tourists who visit Turkey each year, because the coin often becomes a souvenir, a keepsake, or a small reminder of Turkish hospitality, bustling bazaars, vibrant cities, ancient ruins, and delicious culinary traditions. And even though most visitors may not consciously analyze the details of the coin they bring home, the symbolism embedded in the design communicates the nation's blend of modernity and tradition. And as Turkey continues to grow technologically and economically, the 1 lira coin stands as a stable foundation within its currency system, circulating across airports, ferries, cafes, markets, banks, metros, and every corner of daily life. And this ubiquity reflects the strength of its design and utility, while also making it one of the most widely recognized denominations within the Turkish monetary system. And understanding all of these layers, the economics, the artistry, the minting technology, the cultural symbolism, gives us a deeper appreciation for how the 1 lira coin evolved into the modern version we handle today. And with this background established, we are now ready to explore even more detailed aspects, such as yearly issues, changes in production quality, commemorative releases, and why collectors from around the world consider the 1 lira an important and fascinating world coin. Diving deeper into the fascinating world of the Turkish 1 lira coin, we begin unraveling the complex realm of mint variations, year-by-year production qualities, metallic shifts, and collector-worthy anomalies that elevate certain issues far above their face value. Because even though the 1 lira is considered a modern circulation coin, it possesses a surprising number of rare dates, minting errors, and special characteristics that attract coin collectors worldwide. And when studying these variations, it's essential to understand how Turkey's minting process evolved during years of shifting economic conditions, fluctuating raw metal prices, and technological upgrades, all of which created both intentional and unintentional differences across annual issues. And one of the first points that collectors focus on is the transition period between the early new Turkish Lira era and the modern Turkish Lira series, which produced subtle design differences, including slight changes in portrait detailing, border thickness, inner core metal tone, edge reading depth, and even weight differences caused by variations in alloy batches. And while many of these seem insignificant to the untrained eye, specialists in modern world coins understand that such micro-variations can heavily influence rarity and desirability, especially when a particular year had lower mintage due to reduced production demand or economic constraints, and among the years most commonly examined for scarcity. Collectors often highlight low-output mint years where circulation demand decreased, causing fewer 1 lira coins to be minted and making those years prime targets for collectors who seek to assemble complete long-term sets. And alongside yearly rarity comes the intriguing world of mint errors, which are especially fascinating for this coin because the bimetallic structure naturally introduces more opportunities for production mistakes, including off-center strikes where the center core isn't perfectly aligned within the outer ring, partial color errors that create abnormal or misshapen edges, weak strikes caused by insufficient pressure when the dies hit the planchet, improperly annealed planchets where the metal tones appear unusually dark or reddish, and even rare double-denomination errors when the blank metal intended for another coin is accidentally struck with the 1 lira design, creating a highly collectible and extremely scarce anomaly. And although many of these error types appear in small quantities before quality control catches them, those few pieces that slip into circulation can command values far exceeding the face value, especially in international markets such as eBay, NGC-certified auctions, or private collector exchanges, where Turkish coin enthusiasts pay attention to modern rarities with the same respect usually reserved for older Ottoman or early Republic pieces. And another category worth noting is the edge lettering variant, because modern Turkish 1 lira coins feature detailed edge inscriptions that can sometimes misalign, fade, or appear inverted, and while these are technically mint imperfections, collectors actively seek such pieces due to the relative difficulty of finding them in circulation, and beyond errors and low mintage years, collectors also evaluate the coin's grade, especially uncirculated or MS quality examples that retain full brilliance, strong luster, and crisp details in Ataturk's portrait and the decorative border, because high-grade modern world coins are increasingly popular among new collectors who appreciate affordability and availability, and certified grading companies have contributed to this trend by encapsulating top-quality pieces, giving the Turkish 1 lira an international presence far beyond Turkey's local market. And another interesting angle is the influence of early strikes within each production year, because coins minted at the beginning of the annual run often showcase sharper details and stronger edge inscriptions, while late-run pieces may display slight die wear or softer details, which affects grading outcomes and collector choices. And even though these differences are subtle, they matter greatly in advanced numismatics, where top-tier examples often command significant premiums. And as the market for modern Turkish coins grows, more collectors are documenting regional circulation patterns, noticing how certain years appear more often in coastal cities due to tourism-driven cash flow, while other years dominate inland regions where banking patterns differ, and this geographic scarcity adds an unexpected layer to collecting, because acquiring a specific date may require searching beyond local circulation or even buying from international sellers. And even though the Turkish 1 lira is a recent coin, the demand for full-date sets, mint-era collections, and high-grade examples continues to rise, driven by Turkey's cultural influence, strong tourism, and the coin's beautiful aesthetic design, making it increasingly important for collectors to understand these variations, minting complexities, and market dynamics before the next wave of numismatic interest pushes certain issues into higher price categories. And with this deep exploration of variations and rarities established, the next stage naturally leads into understanding market valuations, price forecasts, collector trends, and the potential future worth of specific high-demand issues that already show signs of increasing scarcity. Continuing the deeper exploration of the Turkish 1 lira, the value and collector demand become even more interesting when we shift our focus toward long-term pricing trajectories, market behavior, and the specific details that make certain examples stand out, because unlike many modern coins that remain relatively flat in value due to extremely high mintage numbers, the Turkish 1 lira shows significant variation across different years, mint states, and error types, and this results in a market where certain coins rise rapidly in price depending on scarcity, collector hype, and the increasing global interest in modern bimetallic world coins. And one major reason for this growing attention is the worldwide expansion of modern coin collecting communities that now study not only classical coins but also contemporary circulating issues, emphasizing the importance of documenting error patterns, production anomalies, and yearly output differences before those coins become too difficult to find in high grades, and within this market, one of the strongest price influencers for the Turkish 1 lira is condition-specific rarity, meaning that although millions of coins might have been minted in a particular year, only a tiny portion exist in pristine, uncirculated condition with undamaged edges, flawless surfaces, and strong visual contrast between the outer ring and inner core. And as collectors increasingly submit these coins for grading, the population of verified high-grade examples becomes more defined, causing values to rise sharply for the highest-tier certified specimens, and in some markets, especially in Europe and North America, an MS-65 or MS-67 example of a common year can sell for significantly higher than expected because collectors recognize the difficulty of preserving these bimetallic coins in top condition due to their heavy daily use and susceptibility to scratches, denting, discoloration, and edge wear, which is why coins found in sealed mint sets or early strike rolls often achieve superior grades, commanding higher premiums among advanced collectors. And beyond graded examples, the strongest drivers of value lie in the error categories, where dramatic mistakes like off-center strikes, misaligned cores, double-struck pieces, clipped planchets, or missing lettering can reach values dozens or even hundreds of times the face value depending on severity, rarity, and overall visual appeal, and in global online auctions, the most desirable error types often sell quickly to specialist collectors focused on modern bimetallic anomalies. And what makes this coin particularly valuable in the error field is the bimetallic construction itself, as it naturally increases the chance of striking issues, locking problems, and mechanical misfeeds during the minting process, resulting in a wide variety of unexpected and extremely collectible pieces that may not be fully documented yet, giving collectors the exciting possibility of discovering completely new error varieties as more study is done. And in addition to errors, another crucial value factor is the specific design variations over the years, because subtle changes in the portrait details, font shapes, inner ring color, or decorative motifs can create unofficial varieties that collectors later classify as unique subtypes, making these coins more desirable as the Turkish numismatic catalog continues to expand, and many collectors now search for earlier or experimental issues that used different metal compositions or test planchets, which occasionally appear on the secondary market and can be exceptionally valuable due to their rarity and limited production intent. And another rising trend is the pursuit of complete yearly sets in high grade, because assembling a full timeline of Turkish 1 lira coins from inception to the present requires not only patience but a strategic approach to acquiring both common and difficult years, and as more collectors attempt this challenge, the demand for missing years, and especially for those years with low surviving high-grade populations, naturally increases, pushing their market values upward. And this trend is expected to continue as more global collectors take an interest in modern world coins as accessible entry points into full-scale numismatics, and as Turkey's economic and cultural importance continues to rise, so does the global attention directed toward its currency, meaning that collectors today who focus on rarities, low mintage issues, pristine examples, and dramatic mint errors may eventually see significant value growth as interest expands. And this contributes to the broader trend across modern world coins where once overlooked circulating issues suddenly become highly collectible decades later, creating a sense of urgency for collectors who want to secure the best examples before scarcity and demand inflate prices further. And in the context of long-term investment potential, certain Turkish 1 lira issues have already shown upward trends, with some rare error pieces and highest-grade certified examples achieving impressive sales in online marketplaces, proving that even a modern circulating coin, when combined with bimetallic complexity, design changes, and unpredictable minting variations, can develop into a strong collector category with serious appreciation potential. As we move deeper into the final stretch of this journey, the Turkish 1 lira becomes even more fascinating once we start exploring the hidden layers of collectability that only dedicated numismatists usually pay attention to, because beyond regular mintages, beyond errors, and beyond grading lies the richer story of circulation patterns, transitional strikes, and the small but crucial details that can transform an everyday coin into a standout rarity. And it all begins with understanding how the Turkish economy, minting philosophy, and currency modernization efforts shaped the evolution of the 1 lira over the years, especially considering the multiple shifts in design identity and anti-counterfeiting strategies that required incremental modifications to the dies, which in turn created subtle design anomalies that collectors now treasure. And one of the most compelling aspects lies in the transitional years where the mint experimented with minor adjustments in relief, spacing, texture, and ring core locking pressure, meaning that certain coins struck during these transitional periods may show half-adopted features or hybrid characteristics that blend the old style with the new, making them incredibly desirable to specialists who hunt for varieties that fall outside official documentation, and this is further enriched by the fact that changes to the portrait of Ataturk, lettering thickness, inner core brightness, rim curvature, and decorative motifs were often introduced gradually and without wide public announcement, resulting in coins that appear nearly identical but contain microscopic differences detectable under magnification, creating an entire world of subvarieties waiting to be discovered, and collectors who pay attention to these details often end up identifying pieces that later become recognized as significant varieties by international catalog makers, which increases both the value and historical importance of those early finds. And another layer of excitement enters the picture when we consider the role of circulation environments, because Turkey's currency passes through millions of hands daily: stores, markets, transportation systems, machines, and this heavy circulation results in rapid wear that makes high-grade survivors much harder to find, especially for the earliest years of the series, meaning that pristine, original luster examples can skyrocket in demand simply due to their survival rarity, and as time passes, the number of untouched specimens continues to shrink, making collectors increasingly desperate to obtain the finest remaining pieces, particularly those with natural golden-toned outer rings and deep metallic contrast on the inner core, features that become more muted the longer the coin circulates. And while condition rarity is important, chronological rarity is equally significant, because some years naturally saw lower mintages due to fluctuating economic conditions and changing coin production schedules, and although these mintage numbers may not seem extremely low on paper, the combination of heavy circulation, environmental wear, and low survival rates in mint-state grades dramatically elevates their scarcity, and this is why collectors often chase after the earliest dates, the transition years, and the unexpectedly low output periods, as these coins tend to become the key dates of the modern Turkish series over time, especially when combined with any notable die anomalies associated with those years. And while all of this creates a vibrant field for discovery, the most thrilling aspect for many enthusiasts remains the world of dramatic mint errors, because bimetallic coins are notoriously difficult to strike perfectly, and maintaining consistent pressure, alignment, and metal locking integrity is mechanically demanding, so when the minting process stumbles, it often results in incredible visual mistakes like misaligned cores, missing centers, doubled outer rings, partial strikes, blank planchet cores, broad-struck pieces, and outer rings not fully locked into place, creating errors that are instantly eye-catching and easily recognizable even to beginners, and these dramatic errors often become the crown jewels of advanced Turkish coin collections, commanding global auction attention and significant premiums, not only because they are visually impressive, but also because they represent mechanical impossibilities that slipped through extensive quality checks and entered circulation against all odds, and this sense of rarity combined with unexpected beauty makes them some of the most prized modern era coins on the market today. And while the Turkish 1 lira continues to evolve with new designs and updated security elements, each version adds its own chapter to the growing numismatic legacy, creating a rich timeline for collectors who appreciate both modern craftsmanship and historical continuity. And as more global collectors expand their focus into modern world circulation coins, the Turkish 1 lira stands out as a category filled with opportunity, whether through grading, die varieties, yearly key dates, or dramatic mint errors, ensuring that this coin will continue to captivate collectors for generations to come as they uncover new stories, new rarities, and new treasures hidden within its bimetallic frame. Moving deeper into the final stretch of the story behind the Turkish 1 lira, the journey becomes even more compelling as we connect every element of this coin's evolution: its shifting economic environment, design transformations, production challenges, era discoveries, collector trends, and long-term value trajectory, into one cohesive narrative that captures why this coin has become such a major focus among world coin collectors. And as we bring all these layers together, it becomes clear that the 1 lira is not simply a circulating piece of currency but a direct reflection of Turkey's modernization, its changing cultural identity, and its technological advancements in minting. And because of these dynamic forces, each era of the 1 lira carries its own distinct personality and rarity profile, meaning collectors must carefully analyze not only the dates and mintages but also the context in which each version was produced, because political transitions, economic reforms, metal cost fluctuations, and regional demand all influenced output levels and design decisions, making the study of the coin far deeper than it first appears. And one of the biggest long-term value indicators is the development of registry set competition, where collectors compete to assemble the highest-graded complete sets, and as more collectors join this pursuit, the demand for top-tier examples grows exponentially, which naturally increases the market value of the best surviving coins from each year, especially those that are notoriously difficult to find in gem condition. And this competition is further fueled by grading population reports that reveal just how few coins exist in the highest grades, meaning a single MS-67 or MS-68 example can become the centerpiece of an entire collection, fetching significant prices due to the combination of scarcity, condition rarity, and visually striking bimetallic contrast. And the story becomes even more intriguing when examining environmental toning and natural color evolution on these coins, because the mix of outer nickel brass and inner nickel steel allows for unique oxidation patterns that can create stunning golden, violet, or deep amber tones over time, and collectors increasingly seek out these naturally toned pieces, especially when the colors are uniform and visually appealing, making them miniature works of art created accidentally through atmospheric exposure, and these tones can raise a coin's desirability dramatically if they enhance, rather than distort, the original design, and beyond grading and toning, the hidden universe of dye diagnostics, small cracks, chips, distortions, polish lines, and alignment inconsistencies, opens another frontier of study, allowing specialists to pinpoint which stage of dye life a coin came from, whether early sharp strikes, midlife stable strikes, or late-life deteriorated strikes that show heavy metal flow lines and weakened details, and collectors often pay premiums for the earliest, sharpest examples because these coins offer the most visually crisp representation of the design before dye wear softens the finer elements, and this is especially important for coins with intricate outer ring patterns and delicate portrait details like the 1 lira, because dye wear can significantly flatten the sharpness of the motifs, making early strikes the preferred choice for advanced collectors who value precision. And while all these factors shape the collector demand, the most dramatic impact still comes from error coins, which remain the crown jewels of the series. And as error awareness increases globally, new categories continue to emerge, including misaligned outer rings, rotated cores, double striking on only one metal section, partial locking failures, missing inscriptions, and even double-denomination hybrid planchets. And because bimetallic coins require a complex multi-step minting sequence, each of these errors tells a fascinating story about how the machinery failed and how a piece that should have been rejected instead entered circulation, becoming an accidental rarity that collectors treasure. And many of these error coins have already surfaced in Turkey, Europe, and the Gulf region, with some commanding extremely strong prices depending on severity and visual impact, and the more dramatic the misstrike, the higher the collector demand becomes, especially for pieces where the core is off-center to the point of overlapping the outer ring, or where the outer ring is deformed and appears visibly stretched during the locking process. And even though a majority of these errors go unnoticed by the general public, collectors understand that each discovery adds depth to the overall history of the series, making the Turkish 1 lira one of the most exciting modern coins to study because it presents a constant stream of new findings, and as the years progress, the cumulative knowledge around these coins will only increase, leading to new catalog entries, documented varieties, expanded error classifications, and a more refined understanding of both rarity and value distribution in the series. And what makes this coin particularly promising for long-term collectors is that it comes from a major nation undergoing continuous modernization, meaning future generations of collectors will very likely revisit these early issues with renewed interest, just as collectors today passionately chase early European Union euros, early British decimal coins, and early circulation issues from newly independent nations, and this increasing historical distance will only magnify the importance of early Turkish 1 lira pieces, making key dates, early errors, and high-grade survivors even more significant in the future, especially as pristine examples become harder to locate due to environmental wear, metal aging, and circulation attrition. And this is why collectors today who take the time to study the subtle variations and secure the best examples are positioning themselves ahead of a growing global trend, because modern world coins with strong national identity, complex minting methods, and evolving designs always rise in collector interest as decades pass, and the Turkish 1 lira contains all of these elements combined into one coin, making it not only a fascinating piece of modern numismatics but also a highly promising area for long-term collecting, research, and discovery. And with everything we have explored, the history, the bimetallic construction, the symbolism, the minting process, the errors, the varieties, the grading potential, the survival rarity, the aesthetic toning, and the deepening global interest, it becomes clear why this coin holds such a powerful place in modern world coin collecting and why collectors across the globe will continue to search, study, and treasure it for years to come as its legacy expands and its stories multiply, creating a modern classic in the world of numismatics. Thanks for watching.